Cloud 3.0 is acting as the engine of progress.
Smart cities cannot exist without smart hotels.
Provider is looking for the agile network, a scalable network, as well as totally secured network.
So let's look into how cloud, how edge data is helping innovation to come to fore, and how it's helping smart cities and all. So in the spirit of this theme, I would like to set up some context here. See, we are living in a very hyper-connected world. If we have a video and we share it on WhatsApp, it goes viral very quickly, right? So how is all this happening? This is where we feel that Cloud 3.0 is acting as the engine of progress. So I just give you one example. There are so many things that are interconnected. I could be living here, but I could be connected to a person in Timbuktu, right? And I would not even know that the person lives there. That is the beauty of 3.0, as it is driving innovation from smart cities all the way up to personal healthcare. So Cloud 3.0 is preparing us for future. Whether we know it or not, we do not know what we need for the future, but Cloud 3.0 is anticipating our needs. So what is Cloud 3.0? It is basically an amalgamation of two technologies, cloud computing and edge computing. And between these two technologies, there is flow of data. So now we are talking about data. A lot of data is getting generated. How are we using the technology and data now to come up with a smarter future? So first of all, let's try to understand what is cloud computing. I'm not sure if everyone here has a technology background, but simply put, cloud computing applies to availability of servers, storage spaces, memory, computational, anything you want to do with AI, data sciences, you are able to do that on the cloud. And what is the cloud? That is the internet. Then you have the edge computing. With the advancement in technology, a lot of data gets generated right where the devices are located. For example, autonomous vehicle, right? So data gets collected through the cameras, through LiDAR, right through the sensors, and that data has to be processed immediately. If the vehicle reaches a red light, we do not want the data to first go to the cloud, a signal to come back. The processing has to be done right then and there. And the same thing is required also for the robotic surgeries. When the surgery is happening, the robot has to make a decision at the same point. In the manufacturing industry or in a chemical industry, there are sensors to measure pressures, right? If the pressure reaches the critical point, something has to be done, right? So that decision has to be taken on the spot. When you do all these things, all this processing and the decision making is happening right where the data gets generated, right where the activity is happening. That is called edge computing. Now we have come to Cloud 3.0, but what was Cloud 1 and 2? Cloud 1 and 2 was availability of infrastructure as service. Instead of having a data center in my company, right, and they have to worry about ISO 27001 regulations, have to worry about all the radon gas, all that stuff, I was able to take all my servers and then put it on the cloud and let that be someone else's worry. At the same time, I could rent someone else's server and start using them. That was infrastructure as a service. That's when the software development companies, application companies started realizing that, look, we don't have to worry about hardware. We should focus only on software and introduce software as a service so that companies like mine, users like me, can start using those services. And then companies like me now don't have to worry about infrastructure. We don't have to worry about any of the software. This was Cloud 0.20, platform as a service, software as a service. Now, with the advent of data sciences, faster computers, faster CPUs and GPU availability, there's a lot of data that gets generated and a lot of intelligent decisions are being taken. A lot of artificial intelligence related algorithms are processed. You all have heard of large language models. Training of these models require thousands of GPUs, and now all that is available. And now we can use the results that have come out of this training. This is what Cloud 3.0 is about, okay? Now, because of the movement in technology, a lot of jobs actually have become redundant. We generally don't hire DBAs now. There used to be something called Unix administrators, Windows administrators. We don't need that because the company, the institution that is providing these services has already taken care of our needs. So that does it mean that the people are becoming jobless? No, that's not true. So here I'm going to use the common adage that change is the only constant here. People have to continuously upgrade our skills, and new kinds of jobs have actually come up. And some of these jobs are, you could have like cloud architects, cloud engineers, you can have IoT developers, there are data engineers, DevOps engineers, all these new jobs have come up, and as the industry is moving, the demand for these kinds of positions has only increased, right? So now, we are going to have this discussion around Cloud Point 3.0, but in the context of smart cities, right? So with that, I would like to move to our panelists. We have got panelists from the media industry, from AWS, from the hotel tech, from the camera and video solutions, and like quite a few like that. So to start with, I will start with Mr. Hardik Sanghvi, who comes from the domain of camera and video analytics. So in smart city surveillance, right, how do your camera and video solutions balance real-time edge processing, right, which is local, for immediate threat detection? But at the same time, we want to collect all this data and send it to the cloud for long-term analytics to understand patterns and like also probably to do like forensic analysis.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, I mean, the whole Cloud 3.0, the notion itself is very exciting, and the way the recent developments have taken place in this space of visual intelligence and the solution related to it, it just changes everything. We provide very large-scale manufacturing and system integration for smart surveillance, specifically both hardware and solutions, and the developments that we have seen recently. So like you said, as far as edge AI is concerned, where real-time, on-edge, immediate decisions are to be made. For example, driver behavior, right? I mean, you would like to do those analytics at edge if the driver is feeling drowsy, if they are distracted, if there is an immediate threat on driver, you want to raise an alarm, raise an alert, both for driver as well as maybe some command center which is probably watching over through the edge level processing, through the real-time processing, and same way the other examples that you gave where some kind of a crime prevention is taking place, some kind of a disaster can be prevented. You want to do the edge level processing, but at the same time with the multi-model, the vision transformers, the LLMs, and the availability of H100 machines in a general availability, including from the government push with the recent announcement of AI India, you now have an opportunity to process this real-time edge data into the cloud for much larger, either deriving patterns or forensic analysis. What you want to probably do is, for example, can you put a track on a red Innova for next 2 hours across 2,000 of my cameras? Now that is something that you really can do only when you have put up something in the cloud. Can you track Mr. X and whichever cameras we could actually capture his or her footage over the last 2 hours? I want to derive the track and maybe derive some patterns. Things like you want to deploy some agentic AI, the next generation AI. You want to deploy things like can you decide if the actions can be recognized and some actions can be taken based on the actions. For example, some fighting is going on, somebody is falling down, crowd gathering, those kind of things. A combination of that, a hybrid model where edge and the cloud together will probably deliver next generation solutions where you can actually achieve a real smart city kind of scenarios emerging over the period of time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So here, do you think like when during the time of the Kumbh Mela, right, Mahakumbh, an entire new city was created, and I'm sure a lot of these video solutions were used. Do you think a lot of smart city-like features were used during the Kumbh Mela? Like, what's your impression about that?
Yeah, I mean, see, some of these recent projects that have taken place in India, I'm very happy to see the level at which they actually could deploy some of the recent generation AI models. For example, crowd formation, crowd management. The moment the crowd actually starts going beyond a point, you actually immediately raise an alert, deploy some additional measures. I'll give you one example. I mean, a lot of allegations take place during the elections. A lot of them are political, but I mean, keeping the politics aside, if you look at the use of technology in the elections monitoring by the Election Commission of India, it is truly path-breaking across the world. They deploy literally 400,000 cameras across India, every booth, inside, outside. The moment the number of people in the queue start increasing, they decide to kind of increase the hours for polling. The moment they see two people in front of the that ballot box, it will immediately raise an alert. The moment they see either increase or decrease in the voting pattern, they will take an action, whether either some kind of bogus voting is trying to take place, or if there is a sudden decrease in voting, they will probably try to figure out. They will call up a local security person and ask them, are people prevented from getting to the polling booth? So use of AI and visual intelligence in those kind of scenarios are really making a very big difference in recent times.
Okay, excellent points. Now, cloud and edge and data processing would not be possible unless you have a cloud provider, right? Someone like AWS. So, and like we have a gentleman here, Mr. Lalit Bansal, who comes from that area. So my question is, how can you, how do you balance edge and cloud so that you optimize data processing, reduce latency, reduce the amount of data that has to be transferred over the network, and at the same time ensure scalability? It's not that I'm dealing with just one red light signal. In a smart city, there could be thousands. And how do you optimize the traffic flow across all these thousands of signals? And where does how does AWS or GCP play a role here?
Thank you, Dr. Shakti. I think already what I feel in the hall that Dr. Shakti has already developed everything into technology with the whole audience. I hope ये जो technology का तड़का लग गया है थोड़ा ज़्यादा लग गया है, right? I'll try to be in simple language by starting about my introduction. That I have approximately 2 decades of experience into customer serving, and we started our journey by software development systems, and then upgraded ourselves into blockchain technology, and now we are also providers of cloud. I'm at present advanced consulting partner of AWS as well as GCP and Azure. So what I feel that becoming these smart cities, the first thing comes into my mind is the infrastructure, and infrastructure definitely it has to be the responsive and scalable. And AWS is always what I have felt, and during the COVID times, like you earlier mentioned, that it was the COVID times when people start jumping into the cloud and hugely. In fact, I was also the one who was running hardware servers into my office just for serving multiple clients, right? So I also moved into this AWS cloud, and with this, the first thing comes is the speed, that how everything, this infrastructure being developed can be scalable at an optimized rate. And AWS is always the front runner, like I mentioned. This was even from my personal experience, because like I mentioned that I am also partner with GCP and Azure. But during those times also, what I felt, that the infrastructure that is being provided by AWS is auto-scalable. That person from micro server to macro server can be done at just a point of click. And with this infrastructure, like we talked about this traffic management system, it's like huge. At single point of time, you are getting millions of transactions at the same time. And with this data management center, what AWS is providing, it helps in micro milliseconds, which is easily, right? Along with this, what I feel that being into this cloud server and smart cities, they have to think more about data protections. Like we were discussing about data protection acts which are coming. And with this huge data which is being inflown through this time management or the smart cities that are being developed. In fact, most of the compliances are being taken care of AWS, because there is a huge security that can be availed within AWS infrastructure. And we being, at this along I would like to add that at this moment, even startups are getting benefits from all these cloud service providers. It's not only about AWS, but we have Yotta guy sitting over here, and GCP, Azure. So with this, smart cities are getting developed hugely. In fact, I remember when we are talking about this, around 1 year back, I was in discussions with the government in Saudi Arabia. They are also developing a huge line, which is totally automated. It's built by AI driven, and the whole will be on cloud 3.0. And if I think that is a very, very vast structure that is being built up. You can imagine the trains at a faster speed. You just at one point, your face is being recognized, your whole travel history can be taken care of, and all those things.
No, that's excellent. So here, auto scale seems to be the theme. If I want a system and if it has to work, it has to be sustainable. And if I have a need and there's a need to scale it, right, to add more lights or to add any service, then the infrastructure has to support it in an automated manner. So auto scaling, as you mentioned, I think is important.
Definitely, if I can share you with one live example also, just 1.5 years back, we were developing a blockchain, the own blockchain. It's like there are different layers. The base blockchain is called layer 0. But what we developed for one of our client was layer 2, which is above layer 1. So with lot of projections and all, the infrastructure before on testnet, what we developed, it was with small servers. And if in terms of, I say the revenue that it was giving to AWS, it was just about $10,000 to $15,000. But once it started running and a huge volume suddenly came up, and we were shocked that on a single day at the point of launch, they got 450 million hits at the same time. But because of this auto scaling feature, there was no lag.
No, and that's excellent. This is a new feature, which keeps, I can sleep better at night, because I know that if there's an increase in load, my customers can still make bookings on the Yatra platform. Anyways.
Definitely.
Okay, so now I'm moving on to hotel tech, to the hotel industry, to Mr. Sankalp Goel. See, customers now are becoming used to, and now they're wanting more and more of personalized services, right? And localized services. But at the same time, they want to know what's happening in the world, right? So they want to feel connected. So in the hotel industry, how are you using edge computing to provide personalized services and at the same time be able to provide what the customer needs?
Yeah. Thanks, Shakti. So talking about the hotel industry, I feel, and we've been discussing a lot about smart cities. I feel that smart cities cannot exist without smart hotels. Hotels are the centers of activity for any city, hotels, convention centers, and they become the soul of that city, right? So talking about hotels now, I come from a hotel tech background. We have a cloud-based application for hotels, which is used by 2,200 hotels, and it's a pure cloud-native technology. And while there are benefits of cloud technology, Cloud 3.0 promises to take that experience to the next level, right? And there are certain things that we are also currently experimenting with. And hotels, speaking about hotels, that is always very close to us, be it a business travel or more importantly a leisure travel where we travel out with families. All of us book hotels at some point in time, right? So just a quick hand raise, how many of you have booked a hotel on Make My Trip or Yatra or Clear Trip, right? Dumb question, I know, but most of you. So now the journey of a hotel or a guest starts from there. The moment, and even before booking, the discovery of that hotel. Okay, I'm planning to go to Manali. Which are the best hotels out there? Now, where can I get the best deal? So the journey starts over there, and it goes right up till your arrival day when you're checking into the hotel, you're staying at the hotel, you are going to a spa, enjoying this restaurant over there, and then checking out, and the journey continues even post that. Now, technology has started creeping into every segment of this journey for a guest, for a hotel, right? And hospitality at large, I would say. So just imagine you've booked a hotel and you get a booking confirmation on your mobile, email, WhatsApp, and you walk into the hotel. Now, again, a quick show of hands. How many of you have to wait for at least 15 minutes at the reception just to get a room key and walk into your room? It takes about 15 minutes, and I think even half an hour, 1 hour at times. In larger hotels, busy city hotels, where the inventory is, let's say, up to 150, 200 rooms, guests are waiting for even up to 1 hour in queues. Recently, I was in Singapore and I had to stand in the queue for about 30 minutes just to get my room key. So, these are the basic fundamental problems which Cloud 3.0, edge computing combined with cloud computing can solve very easily. And we've gone a step ahead, not of course implemented the entire stack, but we've created a self-check-in kiosk, which in a way kind of tries to achieve that. But talking about Cloud 3.0, the ultimate vision that we would have for this is, imagine you walk into the hotel. The moment you walk into the hotel, the camera at the front office detects your face, just like Digi Yatra, right? And it recognizes you, it validates your Aadhaar card automatically from the backend APIs. And the compliance, hotels have to go through that compliance. They can't allow a check-in without taking the IDs and the guest details, right? So those are automatically captured, and your room was automatically allocated as per your past data preference. Now that's important because this data comes in from the cloud. So from an application like ours, which has like almost 20,000 bookings every day, so there's a tons of data and profiling being done. Now there's a security aspect to it, privacy aspect to it, which we'll talk about later. But just imagine your data is already fed in, and the front office just has to do one job, which is hand over the key and with a smile, right? So that saves on a lot of time. And the moment you walk into your room, the AC's temperature is automatically set onto the temperature based on your profile. Now, for example, if you are an elderly couple, you would probably want a 27 or a 26 degree. If you are a young person, probably a 24 degrees. The entertainment presets are done accordingly. Now, these things are possible only through edge computing. You need IoT hubs,
you need IoT devices like sensors, which can detect the room temperatures and set it up accordingly. And the information has to come combined from the cloud intelligence. Now, cloud has a lot of data, a lot of intelligence which is asynchronously happening in parallel, and that's feeding into these devices. So just imagine the experience that Cloud 3.0 can take the hotel industry to your experience too. And it just not limits to the guest experience walking into a hotel. It also extends to the overall security, as you mentioned, what's happening around in the world, right? Just imagine there are CCTV cameras installed outside the hotel, and there are edge devices which are intelligent enough to detect anomalies in the traffic outside. Because hotels are the hubs of most activities happening in the city. Unfortunately, they also become hubs of most ill activities happening in the city, right? So there's a big security related concern which cities have around hotels, and that can be very well catered through the combination of cloud and edge computing. I think that contributes a lot to a city being smart if we kind of build that intelligence into hotels, for example.
Okay, excellent. No, so like those are some really good examples of edge computing. So, I mean, controlling the temperature of a room, that is edge computing, but what the customer wants is based on the historical data, that's cloud computing, which now comes to the edge, to the hotel, and now you're able to better serve the customer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So Sunny, you're from media, right? Viacom 18, which got acquired by Star, now it's called Jio Hotstar. So I walk into a hotel, right? So I'm in a smart city, walk into a hotel, and I'm just sitting there in the lobby, scratching my head. My eyebrows are twitching, I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumb. How can media come and help me there? Media and entertainment, I'm sorry.
Sure, yeah. Just a small correction. It's a merger between Reliance's Viacom and Disney Plus Hotstar.
Okay, it's a merger, not an acquisition.
Yeah, now it is called Star India Private Limited, and the app is called Jio Hotstar. But yeah, moving on to that, I quickly just want to get a sense of the room. How many of you all have ever seen any OTT? Jio Hotstar, Netflix, Prime, something or the other, right? Whenever you try to watch anything on most of these platforms, right, you get served by the cloud. Like, we all understand that, right? But there are already a variance of edges wherein you are not doing a lot of compute, which are called CDNs, right? How many of you all know what CDNs are? I just want to understand the room a bit. So CDNs are content distribution networks. These are spread across the globe. For our context, let's just say that there are multiple points of presence, POPs as they are called. These are located across the country. Why? Because your media can be kept in there, spread across, so that when a request comes, we can serve you from one of the nearest ones, right? Although it still is a hybrid, like you asked. Hybrid in the sense because just because you requested for a movie or a show, we don't show it to you directly, right? You have to be either logged in if the show has a rule of that sort, right? So which means I have to do some computation every time you request. It's not a blank or blind. I requested for, let's say, Anupama show, so I have to get that video, right? So you're going to have that balance, and so earlier what used to be CDNs, which was just a dump content delivery network, now has to evolve and say, okay, I'll be able to support some checks and balances so that I am able to verify if you are even authorized to view this content, right? That is one aspect of it, like why the edge comes into play, even though things like CDNs exist. The other thing is, how many of you all know what is Pareto's law? Anybody? There's this thing called as 80-20 rule, right? And which is true in most use cases. In media, the way to look at it is 80% of the time people are requesting for just 20% of your content. So even though all of your content could be kept in in multiple places and it can be accessed, if you could cache 20% of your content at, let's say, these hotels, and maybe a smart city would have a centralized internet access location, right? some really large OTT players which have been around for longer have already implemented stuff like this, wherein they have boxes at internet provider places, and so they are actually caching their top popular contents at these edges in a way so that the 80% of their traffic from these places gets reduced, right? So even though you're doing a very small amount of caching on the edges, you're able to get the benefit from, let's say, a reduction in a large quantity of your traffic.
So like, would I be correct in saying that in context of OTT, edge is the nearest server to your location, which may still be on the cloud?
It may still be on the cloud. Thankfully, it can also be around in your building in the future.
In the building in the future, right. But then in that case, how would I be using a cloud service? Because that will then become a localized server as if it's in my data center.
Perfect. So, if I get into some amount of technicalities, there's, yeah, I know this is a...
Yeah, I mean like this session is more on the
technology
technology
session, I know.
side. This is, yeah, okay,
So
yeah,
there,
please go ahead.
Yeah, there are some very interesting ways, without getting into too much of the gnarly details. I want to talk about, let's say you have a token, right? A token can carry a lot of your encrypted information, and as long as my edge can just decode it and check how long is this token even valid for. If it is valid, then let this content play. I do not need to send your token to the cloud. The validations can happen only on the edge. Every time your token expires, let's say we set a expiry of 2 hours or 10 hours or whatever, right, depending upon your own security needs as a company. Every time your token expires is the only time you go there to your cloud and get a refreshed token. So as long as you have a valid token, your edge will be able to take a decision if it wants to serve you that content.
Excellent. I mean, as a smart city resident, I would need personalized news, I would need localized news, I want to know what's happening in my locality, what's happening around the globe, you know, all these things. And here again, we can very easily see that there's a combination of edge computing and cloud storage that actually come into play. And by the way, you know, like there are a lot of algorithms, a lot of machine learning algorithms that are around to like give you personalized services. So for example, you're looking for a hotel in Dubai. There are thousands of hotels. You want like, and the front page will show only like 10, 15, 20 hotels. What should those hotels be, right? It will be based on the past searches you have done, the level of interest you have shown in the hotel by the clicks, right? So you're collecting all the click data, all the past bookings you have done. You store all that. That is tremendous amount of data. You store all that on cloud. And then there are algorithms like HRNN, for example, hierarchical recurrent neural network, which Amazon uses. And there is a collaborative filtering, you know, all these algorithms. Based on that, you can identify the top 10 hotels which the person is most likely to book, right? So these kinds of technologies also go into play in addition to edge computing and like cloud computing. Now coming to you, Nitin, you represent the data side of things, data services, network services. So I guess, you know, I would really want to know that smart cities actually rely on robust and reliable network infrastructure. Okay, that is a must, right? So how are network service providers innovating to address the latency needs? You know, I don't want much latency, right? And you know, then there are security concerns because the data is moving between devices to the edge. There is DPDP regulations. And then at the same time, you know, there's this concept of network slicing 566G. How are these new technologies coming to play and aiding Cloud 3.0?
So when we say, when we specifically think from the smart city side, because everybody knows the data, lot of data is getting generated. As you rightly said, it is not only a citizen who are generating the data to avail the services, but each and every endpoint which is getting connected or which is getting monitored is actually generating the data. So that lot of data, it need to be served, and for that you require the very high bandwidth, and that too with the latency. But these are not the two factors which a service provider or maybe citizen or any services are looking out. Customer is looking, or maybe the provider is looking for the agile network, a scalable network, as well as totally secured network. At the same time, it need to be affordable as well. If possible, if service provider is giving in a free of cost, they will be want to avail that. But for all these things, if you try to depend on only a telcos, so I think we are just doing the injustice to them. Though 5G and 6G has brought lot of technologies for telcos, and definitely I would say 5G and 6G is allowing the reliability of the network. Similarly, it is allowing the slicing as well. When we are talking about the slicing, where as per the application demand or as per the business demand, the dedicated bandwidth can be allocated to that specific application, or we can allocate the specific security policy which is required for that specific application as well. So 5G and 6G and slicing is actually giving us a benefit for allowing the security over there. But it is not only a network, but we need to bring the AI element also over there. The network monitoring, or maybe the telcos or maybe network service providers are using the AI technologies, ML, into it so that they can monitor the network, they can monitor the traffic, and as per application requirement or as per maybe a conditions requirement or situations requirement, they are dynamically allocating the parameters as well. It is based on the previous pattern which is getting used. The way you said ki auto scaling is required in the compute, the similar way auto scaling is required in the network as well. Without auto scaling, if you are scaling your computer, that means at the back end, your network also to be scalable. So lot of options available nowadays, burstable options, or maybe scalability as demand, or maybe I would say ki, specifically from the network burstable point of view, it can be done. But when you are doing the bursting, at that time you need to take care of the security as well. Because it is not only citizen, but your endpoint is also generating the data, and everything is happening over the network. When it is generating the data and when it is happening over the network, it is the threat. Because you are directly, in a smart city, you are directly serving it to the citizens. The citizen data is actually getting used over there. So security is the important factor. You need to take care of the maybe ransomware attacks, you need to take care of the DDoS attack, and at the same time, the endpoint also need to be protected because of this. One endpoint getting corrupted can bring down the entire system, entire smart city as well. So those are one aspect, but you cannot rely only on the network and security. You need to really think as per application requirement or as per the business requirement. You need to design the solution upon. There might be possibility the applications like surveillance systems or maybe real-time traffic monitoring and management. At that time, you need to take a quick decisions. You cannot rely on the network service provider or maybe the cloud service provider to give that quick reliability, quick maybe AWS, Azure, and as a Yotta also. We are providing the reliable connectivity as well as reliable cloud also. But again, I'm saying that the mix of a local computing and the computing over the internet or maybe the hyperscale computing is required. The data which need a quick response or quick maybe a decision making need to be stored at the local level only.
Okay, great. So we need scalability everywhere. Scalability in the servers, in memory, in storage, as well as network, right?
Correct.
No, that's a very important message. And with the advent of all these technology, 5G and 6G, I think that will help us move from cloud 3.0 to 4.0. You know, whatever 4.0 is.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay. So like one fun fact I wanted to mention here is, you know, we are talking about computation, and so, our human brain, it consists of around 10 billion neurons, and each neuron is connected to another 10,000 neurons in our body. So our brain is capable of performing 10 to the power 18 computations, right, in a second. And it uses only 20 watts of energy for that. If you were to do the same thing using GPUs and CPUs, it will take nearly one gigawatt of energy. So I see, when future computation, all this is there, using organic data instead of using silicon-based, stuff could be used to develop better memories, better systems, and probably better CPUs. Okay, now let's look into cybersecurity. right? The whole thing, I mean, a smart city cannot exist unless there is robust cyber security. See, in the highly connected, interconnected environment, what are some of the key cybersecurity things that you would look at? You know, in a smart city, just imagine there are multiple applications, they are connected to each other. There are servers which are connected to each other, right? And like Nitin mentioned, that one endpoint goes down, it can impact the whole system. There are, you know, very smart crooks out there, you know. I mean, we have heard a lot of horror stories around ransomware. So we don't want all that to happen in a smart city. So can you please share your perspective from the cybersecurity point of view and Cloud 3.0 and smart cities, please?
Yeah, surely. Thank you. So first of all, how smart city concept is came. Normally, if you're traditionally using a infra, if cloud and internet will not be there, we cannot imagine to a smart city concept. A smart city journey started from the hotel industries. First up, larger property being managed automatically, just like a smart city complex. In most of the Europe hotels or some other where you cannot see any people are running the hotel, 4 or 5 people running entire properties. Maybe people is afraid to check in the hotel floor because there was no human being interaction are there. So cyber security become a critical aspect on this, because without cyber security, whatever IoT devices or OT devices connecting to the smart cities, maybe it is not going to provide the adequate function. Maybe it is a security breach of any of the smart city where we multiple of control and nodes are connecting some of the OT device and automate, and we are using a AI. Fusion of AI with the using in operation model in smart cities become more critical, because earlier it was only AI, now become a agentic AI, and now you can say one more thing, or cognitive AI or generative AI, and now your vision AI also is there. So that these aspects are there, which is going to prominently manage the smart city concept. As much as device you are connecting different source, you are exposing to outside the world. And if you don't have adequate security control, everything going to collapse. Putting adequate control, if you are using a protected layer of AWS, cloud native security tools, or other additional tools just like a perimeter or physical securities, it is not going to sufficient. Apart from that, you have to be proper configure or proper manage and proper define, and proper integration is also required for each interoperability of tools of each others. Otherwise, it is going to give some different aspect where you are, one side you are connecting to the system, but other side it is opening to the hackers community, because right now hackers community also become strong. They are going to use a AI model to prevent the system. Even right now, if any security hacker, you can say, you refer, where coming into, they are taking lead from the community, and from community the protector also coming to the white hacker, you can say, they also having same capabilities. So based on that, if you are putting proper security control, then you are going to provide a holistic view of smart city concept. And here few concepts are there where if latency also playing a major role, suppose you are using any criminal face is going to identify via vision AI, and it is not going to send you right set of alarm to close the door or raise the alarm, so maybe the criminal can pass on the door. So latency is going to play the crucial role, and it is possible when it's coming to the next generation 5, 6 and 6 generation the network connectivity. That is concept here. And cyber security right now, if you are using a right set of cloud, by default it is going to eliminating the DDoS kind of attack, because they have a, you can say, native control, where the majority of attack automatic it will be going to eliminate, because they are also right now cloud solution also going to use it for the AI protection load, where they are going to balance the cloud network in proper way. If any loads are coming in particular node, they are using AI based cloud model where auto scaling or auto healing or auto, you can say, shut down the service immediately. If any additional abnormal traffic you observe, it is going to play a smart role, and it is going to threshold an alarm or maybe increase the bandwidth based on that. So right now using AI, and you can say vision AI or all other powered by any cloud solutions, smart city is going to become more safer, and it is going to provide a more holistic approach of the smart city concept.
Excellent, that's great. So, and also, I mean, are you working, is your company working in the area of quantum AI to make sure that all these encryption algorithms, that the smart cities are ready for the quantum-based smart encryptions to be there so that no one can break them? Or at least like in the next 10,000 years?
We are working actually some of the, you can say Saudi-based company, Saudi Aramco, we have joint venture with LTIMindtree. And we started to working with the NEOM. One of the smart city concept is there. I think whatever you are referring now, that is going to 100% smart integrated city is there. NEOM, that is a large scale. I think that is a dream project of Saudi government. And it is, we have started to working some of the component, not fully way, but it is started to initial level where we are going to planning stage. We cannot disclose what we are doing, but we are doing massively. Especially on the massive level where we are going to protect the perimeter security along with the sustainability, where the infrastructure will make it ready or we can calculate the workload for efficient way.
Okay, great. So thank you all of you for your time and explaining the work that you're doing in your respective industrial verticals and your domain of expertise.
I request the moderator of the session to kindly present it to our panelist. We now present a memento to Mr. Hardik Sanghvi. We thank Mr. Lalit Bansal. We now present a memento to Mr. Goel. Thank you so much, Mr. Goel. We thank Mr. Sunny Gupta. We also thank Mr. Nitin Jadhav. And we now present a memento to Mr. Umakant Tripathi. Thank you so much, Mr. Tripathi. And a heartfelt gratitude to the moderator of the session for wonderfully conducting and concluding the session, Dr. Shakti Goel. And on behalf of Exhibition India, it's absolutely a privilege to present a memento to Dr. Goel.